Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again. Welcome to another review. This is of a 2018 fantasy Disney movie that came out a couple years ago called A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, finally got to see this on Disney Plus for free. So I didn't see this in the theater. It was directed by Ava DuVernay, who's highly respected director now, and she was supposed to do a DC movie, but those plans were scrapped. And it was written by Jennifer Lee, one of the writers of Frozen, and Jeff Stockwell, and based on a 1962 novel. This movie was weird. Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It was kind of a disappointment more than a oh my god, this is the worst movie I've ever seen, because I had no expectations. I saw the trailer and I'm like, this looks a lot like Alice in Wonderland or Oz the Great and Powerful or John Carter or a bunch of other movies with a bunch of kids, and CG in our faces. The story follows a young girl who, with the help of three astral travelers, set off on a quest to find her missing father. Basically, Mindy Kaling, uh, Oprah with anime hair, and Reese Witherspoon. And I can get what the movie was going for, that it would try to be whimsical and weird like Alice in Wonderland. But unlike Alice in Wonderland, what that movie did better than this is that it made more sense. And also, Alice is a much better lead than Storm Reed is fine. I think her acting is fine compared to some of the other people in this movie. She's the normal one. The film cost $100 million, $130 million, and only made 133. That's not including the marketing and all the advertisements. Yeah. The film became the first $100 million budget live action film to be directed by a black woman. Yeah, good achievement, but it should have been Black Panther or I don't know, Black Lightning or the Static Shock movie or something like that. But the total production marketing was $250 million. Oh my God, that's like a lifespan of that's like a person's wages in a life in an entire lifespan. That's crazy. The film was a box office bomb. Of course it was. At $130 million, it lost. I'm like, it came out in March. I mean, what was the big movie at that time? Like Black Panther came out in February. Yeah, so it conquered. The film, yeah, the film received mixed reviews. Mixed reviews. Half of the people that went to go see this don't know what the hell was going on. I mean, you have Reese Witherspoon with red hair and talking weird, and then she turns into a giant green Pokemon. And then you have Mindy Kaling quoting a bunch of things like, you know, to be or not to be, that is the question. Shakespeare. Yeah, she always does that, and it's weird. And the film is very typical, cliche. Girl gets bullied in school because her father's gone, and she has to go on this whimsical quest with a boy because that's always in everything. There's a ton of CG in this movie. Disney was high on something when they came up with this, because you have these flowers that show up when they get to this world, and they don't explain where this comes from. And then you have Oprah, Reese Witherspoon turning into a green Pokemon, and then you have they're flying through the clouds and everything. It looks pretty. The colors are there, but it's just, where does it come from? Like, I don't understand. The critics taking issue with the film's heavy use of CG and numerous plot holes. Yeah, while others celebrate its message of female empowerment, I don't really know that, because the women don't really do much in the film, and Storm Reed is the main character, who's fine as Meg Murray, but there really isn't much to her. There really isn't. She's basically Zendaya with glasses in the movie. There's one scene in the movie that's really well done when she sees her father again, played by Chris Pine. She cries and hugs him. That's a really emotional scene, but that's like halfway through the movie. And Gugu and Raw, I'm gonna just say this quick because I don't want you guys to call me racist. I'm not a fan of that actress. I'm not gonna care about her in Loki. I don't care about her in Undercovers or any of that. Just not for me. Not for me. Okay, guys, you got it. Good. Zach Galifianakis, he does nothing in the movie. Michael Pena, he looks weird. He has like these glasses and a weird suit. Like, he looks like a DC villain. The kid that plays her little brother, what was it, Charles Wallace? Yeah, Derek. He starts off kind of cute, and then he just becomes a cartoon at the end. And she's like, "I love you, Charles Wallace. I love you. I love you. I love you." Again and again and again and again. And I'm like, "Oh my God, can you please just say it once and just get on with it?" And also Levi Miller. This is the kid that played Peter Pan in that god awful Pan movie from 6 years ago. Yeah, he's there. That's all I can say. Uh, like I said, the film's too long. Like an hour and 49 minutes. It's not 2 hours, but it feels long, guys. You could have easily cut out the her getting bullied in school. I've already seen that in Shazam. I saw that in freaking Dora. We get it. People are different. You have to accept them for who they are, and if you can't, then just move on. And also, yeah, the film, it's just nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. But like I said, I didn't hate it. There's some things I liked looking at in the film, but and I get the overall message, but it's dull. And it's just Pine looks like he's out of his mind. He has like a beard, and he's like writing scientific things on the wall. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen this done better. He was better in the Star Trek movies and the first Wonder Woman. Yeah, the critical consensus is A Wrinkle in Time is visually gorgeous. Yeah, it's a good looking film, just like the Mulan remake last year. That it's a nice thing to look at. But I liked Mortal Engines more than this. It was almost the same running time. Yeah, it lost a lot of money, but it was better. I was more entertained. I wasn't bored. Big-hearted and occasionally quite moving. Unfortunately, it's also wildly ambitious to a fault, and often less than some of its classical parts. I never read the book, so I don't know how faithful this was to the book. But other than that, it needed to be better. Like Disney can do better. This is not the Disney from 20 or 30 years ago. This is the Disney from the last 10 years. You gave me Frozen and Frozen 2. I cried in the second movie. Was Show Yourself is gorgeous to look at, and it was beautiful to listen to, and it moved me. This I was just moved by one scene, but it could have been done better. It got a Lewis Films Critic Award for Worst Film of 2018. It wasn't the worst film of 2018. Oh God, no. With which 50 Shades of Grey came out that year? Actually, no, there wasn't a 50 Shades. That was 2019. But there were a lot of terrible movies in 2018. Venom is worse than this because it made me sick. Uh, Freaking the Pacific Rim sequel, I know is worse. It came out the same month, and it's a sequel to a movie we never needed a sequel to because you did it wrong. Casting Bayenga was a big problem. But yeah, this movie, it has its diversity. It has some beautiful visuals. If you have kids, they're not gonna care about the plot. They're just gonna look at the screen and be like, "Oh, look, pretty things." I like pretty things. Also, Roman Blanchard is barely in the movie. She's very cute, but she's barely in it. She's the student that bullies Meg, but later befriends her, which I don't buy because I'm like, you're a bitch to this girl for the whole movie, and then out of nowhere, and be like, "Please forgive me." I'm like, forgiveness doesn't work that way. You have to build it up. There has to be some kind of redemption. Roman Blanchard's character doesn't have a redemption story, not to me anyway. And like I said, the film is just too long. I saw it on Disney Plus because I had nothing else to see, and Raya doesn't come out till next week, so I will be reviewing that next week, hopefully. But this movie, you can skip it. If you've never seen it, you can skip it. It's not a movie that's worth your time. If you have kids, then they'll watch it. They'll be entertained. But if you don't have kids and you see this alone, you can skip it. You can shut it off after a certain time because you don't want to waste precious time. But it's not the worst movie of 2018. I've seen way worse. And there were worse movies that came out last year and in 2019 as well. So, and this year. So, Disney, you could have done better. Do better because I've seen you do better, live action and animated. So that's my review for A Wrinkle in Time from 2018. Not a good movie, but not the worst thing I've ever seen either. Just a disappointment, meh, kind of a film. So take it for what you will. Watch it if you want to. If you don't, I don't blame you. Anyway, that's my review. See you in the next review, guys.